Om Sri Sai Ram. Guru Baba, Guru Baba, Sharan Namostute Guru Baba, Sai Baba, Bal Baba, Satya Baba, Prema Baba, Guruvar, Guruvar, Guru Baba, Jaya Guruvar, Guruvar, Guru Baba. Om Sri Sai Ram. Today we shall talk about one unique aspect of this avatar. Factually speaking, every aspect of this avatar is unique by itself. What he has done, no avatar has done this before. No human can ever even imagine what this 5 feet 3 inch God has done. One such aspect is Swami collecting letters in the crowd from chosen ones, knowing what is written in the letter. There are thousands and thousands of people, practically everyone in front rows with their letters, what Swami calls, they call it letters of love, letter of prayer, but Swami calls it letter of suggestions to God. Because he told me once in my poems that every prayer, every letter of so-called prayers and love is actually letter of suggestions to God. If you remove the prefix of kindly, please, the rest of content is only the suggestions given to God. Swami, please do this, please do this, please don't do this. Everything is suggestions to God. But this God knows, as he told once, I know whom to give, what to give, how much to give, when to give, and whom not to give. Whatever I do or omit to do is for your own good and for good of all. That is the USP of this avatar. Rama never revealed his divinity. Krishna never concealed his divinity. But this avatar knows how to reveal and conceal his divinity simultaneously. Every moment. Let us venture into this ocean of love and mercy and try to study what we call our human analysis. How does Swami know? How does he choose? How does he select which letter to take and which one not to take? Few instances which are directly known to me out of my own experience and experience of my near and dear ones. First one I would like to mention about one young doctor who was, I think, that point in time was doing his medicines, brother of our dear friend and brother Prem Shadatpuri. He had this Mumbai idea in his mind that Swami is taking letters just randomly and people are attributing his omniscience to this collecting letters randomly. So he wanted to prove that he can give a letter to Swami, a cover to Swami, which did not contain anything, not even a piece of paper, nothing, an empty cover. And he probably told his friends around, see, if I get my first row, I will give this empty cover to Swami and Swami will take it. Because those days, gave letter to Swami, crowd was very less, not a big deal. So he, fortunately for him, he will not believe it was designed by Swami. So fortunately for him, he got his first row. Swami came. Swami took letter from left, from right, from behind, from everywhere. But Swami did not take his letter. He said, this must be a coincidence. I will try again. Once, twice, thrice he tried. Swami would take letters from everybody, but not from him. And on the fourth day when he tried to take that letter directly to Swami like this, so close, Swami looked at him smilingly and mischievously. Swami's mischievous smile only you can imagine Krishna smiling, no one else. Go and post it outside. Then he got his sense. You can't underestimate this God. Same thing happened with my younger brother Kishore, who of course is a very good devotee of Swami. Full faith in Swami, no doubt on that. But the situation those days, early 90s, when Swami told me not to go anywhere and not to sell any property. It was his command. 20th December 1990 interview. But I was and I am the shareholder, the partner of our family property. And without my signature, nothing would move. And I refused to go from Puttaparthi without Swami's permission. Even Dr. Bhagwat, then President of State of Maharashtra Satya Sai Organization, as I mentioned in one of my talks, he personally, going out of it, normally nobody would talk about any other person with Swami. Nobody dare. But he being the President of State of Maharashtra, and I at that point in time was officially Chairman of Ulasnagar Samiti, and it was nearly 1 year about that I had not gone from Puttaparthi. So he prayed to Swami on my behalf. The moment, according to him, the moment he uttered the word, Swami, Harish, don't worry about Harish. Swami did not even allow him to complete the sentence. Don't worry about Harish. I have changed his destiny. I am preparing him for something. So he also came out and he told me, Harish, you should not leave Puttaparthi without Swami's permission. I said, sir, I told you so. He was suggesting that I should go and send a telegram to Swami, Swami, I am leaving. If you want me to be here, then you should stop me. I said, sir, no, I can't play this game with Swami. If he had not commanded me personally, then I could at least give a thought. But even then, I dare not do it because our relationship with Swami is so sacred. How does it matter to Swami if I go or not go? When he tells me not to go, that means he loves me. He is concerned about my own good. So I can't play this, Swami, I am going and if you want me to be here, I said, no, this is egoistic. This is Ravana Bhakti. I will not indulge into it. If Swami has to tell me, he will come and tell me. That's it. Or you could ask Swami, if Swami tells you, yes, let him go. Then I will send telegram to Swami to reconfirm. Otherwise, no ways. Same thing happened with this younger brother, my Lakshmana. He thought that I'm just being lazy or indifferent to problems of the world, and we are all family members are involved, and I'm trying to take that excuse and escape route, giving Swamis this thing. He had done this mistake before during his marriage. These ideas come to calculating minds. So he came to Puttaparthi just to tell me that you have to come to settle this, at least for the sake of the entire family, because so many people are involved, and as anybody can quote scriptures, he would quote Swami that Swami wants you should perform your duty, you do your best, whatever. I said, so simple. He had come as a Sevadal. In those days, Swami used to give Pad Namaskar to Sevadals. So I said, tomorrow is your Pad Namaskar day. And Swami, it is taken. You can't take him for granted, but it was very natural that Swami would accept letters from everyone, Sevadal. Because that was their day, special day. After 10 days of Seva, this was a golden opportunity. I said, you write only one sentence. Swami, if you accept this letter, I will take it as your blessing, your permission to take my brother Harish to Ulhasnagar to settle our family property issues. Don't write anything else. And after giving letter to Swami, whether he takes it or not, you, even if you come and tell me, you lie to me, now Swami has accepted the letter, I will come with you. But I will send a telegram to Swami that Swami, you have accepted letter from my brother giving me permission. So I am going with him. Do it. He said, it's so simple, Swami. I said, you do it. I know my Lord. Even the God in the heavens can commit a mistake. But this God can never commit a mistake. And if he does give me permission, I have no issues. I have no personal agenda to stay with in Puttaparthi or not to go and not to sit. This is not it is his command. He knows the best. Next day he took the letter. According to his own version, Swami came, took letter from left, right, behind, before, everyone. He stood on his knees and he said he even touched the letter, breaking the discipline. He touched Swami's chin like with the letter. Swami, please, please, Swami. Swami did not even look at the letter. Then he came back and he told me, Harish, you are blessed. Be with Swami till he wants you to be here. And believe me, my brothers and sisters, 7 years till 97, when ultimately Swami himself permitted me to go. I have mentioned in one of my talks, the poem which Swami gave me, when you wait on him, he works on you, and if required, he even works for you. In those 7 years, what the entire Ulhasnagar smart families, businessmen, from my own family, from others, they tried their best to settle the issue. No one could do anything. It went from back to us. And it got so complicated that nobody even touched or mentioned about this property. In their own words, it became as good as dead property. And dead cannot deliver. One person even told me that if you gift this property to anybody free, they will not take it. It was in such mess. With his grace, He changed the entire situation in such a way. After 7 years, when I went there, what they could not do in 7 years, the entire team of experts, so-called worldly wise people, I could do in less than 7 weeks. And I could sell that property, maintaining my partnership till today, for double the market price, without raising my voice with anyone. Ethically, morally, everything perfect, because it was his game, his ways. When you wait on him, he works on you. He is taking later and not taking later. He is giving permission and not giving permission. I have mentioned in one of the talks during 83, 84, when I had just got my first property to develop my first building. Naturally, I was excited about it, but I had promised Swami that I would attend his birthday, whatever may come. That also I mentioned in one of the talks. And Swami came back from the door, main gate. He returned from that main gate to bless me on my birthday. Because he told me, "Tum mere birthday mein nahi aaya, why should I bless your birthday?" So intimate. 1978. So I thought I will go for Swami's birthday, but next day I will return back to sign my agreement of partnership, which I was going to enter with one of the topmost builders of township, Ulhasnagar, very reputed, very thorough gentleman. It was a privilege to be his partner. With great effort, I could convince him to take me as his partner and be involved in my project, my first project. I wanted some experienced person to be with me. I was new. I was very young, just 23, 24. I came and on 24th, I even thought that I will miss the Bad Namaskar, which Swami normally gives after birthdays on 25th, because I have duty. Same argument, devil quoting the scriptures. Swami wants us to do the duties. So I thought that I will do Namaskar to Ganesha and go. I tried 2 days. Ultimately, Swami made it that I lost my tickets. Then I stayed there. I said, "Swami, no, I'm not going till you yourself ask me to go." I stayed there for 3 months. And in those 3 months, he changed the entire situation. I was going to commit a very Himalayan blunder by entering into partnership with that gentleman. He was very nice, perfect gentleman. For me, it was not a good idea. Swami played the entire thing in such a beautiful way that everything came in my favor, and I did it alone, what I could not have done with him. We had to make partnership only with him. Friendship, relationship, and even I add partnership only with God. Can't trust anybody else. This is how divinity works. And it is mentioned in one of the books of Professor Abdul, who was professor of, I think, commercial law or something, appointed by Swami 1981 when Dr. V.K. Kokak was the Vice Chancellor. He had applied. He was from Sholapur. He has written his beautiful book. One must read it. He was a Muslim professor and he came to teach mercantile law, I believe. and he applied for it, and he got a letter of appointment. He was shocked. So he came to Puttaparthi to join, and before joining, he went to the Vice Chancellor to report. And then he asked him, "Sir, how did Swami himself select me? Because there was no interview, nothing, and directly I am given letter of appointment." So Dr. Gokak told him that incident, that when we put this advertisement in newspapers to invite faculty from different parts of the country and across the world for some 40 plus vacancies, each one in different department of the university, they received thousands and thousands and thousands of applications, even from Harvard in US, everyone. So many people from across the world wanting to join university. So we had a full bag of all the letters. Now how to select, whom to select, we had no clue about it. And most of the letters were from totally unknown people to us, because we never knew who's what. Those days there was no Google, no computers, 81. So we put this problem to Swami. Swami received thousands of letters. Swami said, "Don't worry, I will come one day and sort it out." So they just kept the heap of letters in one corner of their office for Swami to decide and come and do whatever he wants to do. He said after 1 day or 2 days, early morning, bhajans were going on. He and Mr. Chakravarti, who was the registrar at that point in time, they were sitting in the office doing some official work. Suddenly they got the message that Swami is coming to University Block, and they went outside. Swami's car was there, and they had to receive him, and Swami came directly to the office, and they say, "Sorry Swami, we did not arrange. This is the heap of letters. We just kept it like that." Swami said, "Don't worry." Swami picked up one by one, exact number of letters, sealed covers. They wanted some 42 or 47 vacancies were there. Exact number of letters Swami picked up randomly from the heap of thousands of applications from across the world. And he said, "You give appointment letter to these people and rest you let it go." And Swami went off. Now there was a confusion in their mind that Swami has picked up the exact number, okay, but if there is a duplication, and if some department is missing, because they had applied one post for each and every faculty for different departments, right from administration to the head of department and everything, because it was a new university, they wanted to set up the entire staff. So they went on opening each and every cover, sealed covers, and they found Swami had picked up randomly exact number, one for each requirement. No duplication, no missing. So Dr. Gokak told this Dr. Abdul from Sholapur that you are one of those blessed souls, so we sent you this letter of appointment. No avatar has done before. No human being, no one can do this. Every day, morning and evening, collecting letters from crowd, receiving thousands of letters through post, telegrams. I am one of those persons. I must have written thousands of letters to Swami, giving him, even once Gopal Rao Gaurav in Whitefield, he asked me, "Harish, I am finding every day, morning and evening, you are giving letter to Swami, and Swami is taking it. What is there? You have some huge problem that Swami is coming to you and taking letter from you every day. What do you write?" I said, "No sir, no problem. With his grace, I have no problem. I don't keep, Swami has commanded me not to keep on my head anything. I don't think of any problems. I write poems which he gives me, and he comes and takes one copy from my hand." That is why Dr. Bhagwantam, in those days, he wrote an article in Bliss. This phenomenon is incomprehensible by human mind. It is beyond our understanding. And what human mind cannot comprehend, how can it analyze? And Dr. Bhagwantam was one of the greatest scientists, noblest of souls. He was a sage. And this is the experience of every scientist from all over the world who have come and visited Swami. Be it L. Trucker, be it anyone. Once, I am just reminded, Dr. John Hislop, he was traveling from Bangalore to Whitefield, and they were traveling by taxi, of course, the cab. Those days there was no this internet and all, so they were traveling by normal cab. Then, because those days there was a railway gate just ahead of the ashram, so when there will be a huge queue of cars and vehicles and tempos and everything till the train passes, so they had to just be at nearly half a kilometer away, but they were traveling so fast with speed because they had to reach the ashram urgently. So the driver, just because they were telling him, be fast, be fast. So they were calculating they should be there before Swami goes to Trai and retires to his room. So it had so happened, they were traveling with such high speed, the driver took over one car, and when he took over, he found that from other opposite side, a huge lorry was coming. Now he was in a fix. It was just two-way lane. He has overtaken, and the opposite direction, huge truck is coming with the full speed. He could not stop. He could not do anything. That point in time, Dr. John Hislop and the person, they were aghast. In his own words, they forgot even to mention Sai Ram. But next moment, they just closed their eyes because they knew they are going to die anyhow. So they just closed their eyes in fear. Next moment, when they opened their eyes, they saw their car had as if flown above the truck, and they could see from behind the truck was going behind them. They had crossed the entire thing, and there was no way. The driver also said, I don't know, sir, how this car has come to this. Even I gave up. And when they reached ashram, Swami told them, so you even forgot to say Sai Ram, but I still saved your life. If you need me, you deserve me. But if you love me, you need not even need me. And we try to think that this God is in Samadhi and multi-organ failure. I don't know who got these ideas. Unthinkable. He is proactive. His mission has just begun. Let me say, I will give the details. Swami has directed me after Navratra starts. Swami had declared those days, 1980s, when the kingdom of Satya Sai, the students formed that kingdom of Satya Sai, and the Anandpur students formed kingdom of Mother Sai. Those days, Swami declared in Portico, one day the United Nations decisions will be taken from Prashanti Nilayam. Just wait and watch. His mission has just begun. Jai Bolo Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba Ji ki Jai.